Hello again. This is just something that's been on my mind because it's something I've been going through for months. But oddly, words were put to it yesterday, and I heard it as when your protectors become your pimps. And I had to sit there and let that process for a minute of, huh, yeah, that makes total sense. That the ones I trusted, the ones that they were my guardians from the get go. They were supposed to be the leaders. Leaders. Follower hit my head at the same time. And yet, when you can't follow someone who is not a good leader because they're stirring the pot, we'll say, then that's at the point where they start pimping you out. And when I had heard that, I instantly thought about the kid that has the talent in the family. Say they play the piano. People come over and they say, "Oh, come sit over here and play the piano for everybody and entertain us. Make us feel happy." And I remember being that one that if my mother particularly was sad, I was the one to cheer her up. I was the one to put on the happy face in the show and just sit there and kind of pull her out of whatever she was going through. And of course my dad was there, but it wasn't the same. And I have recently cut ties with my mom, basically my family, and that sent my dad to reaching out, who really never does. And all I could think was, bring the black sheep back home, bah, to have someone to breathe life back into their world again, because we're all getting older. My parents are in their 60s and my mom retired, and it's funny, it took her retiring for me to see her true personality. And I've always thought my mom was a loving, giving, kind, open person, and I started realizing there's more gossip and backstabbing and shit talking that I'm like, never knew that was in you. Of course, I don't know why it caught me off guard, because we're all human, everyone has a bad day and says things they shouldn't say. But when you realize there's a pattern to it, that protector knew how others were sabotaging and yet never stood up, that's where basically they pimp out your pain. Oh, you're down? Let me make you feel better. And that all is to schmooze you, would be the word, to kind of stroke your ego, to get it to inflate to a false sense of who you are. And in all honesty, that actually takes away from the spiritual being that is embedded in you. And it begins to make that ego grow more and more to where you don't function on a positive, loving, kind of a light sharing, fulfilling path, which I have come to figure out that's mine. I don't know what everyone else's purpose is, but I know when it boils down to it, we each have a path, and we figure that out through our walk on our journey in life. So if you're figuring out for yourself, because I kind of feel like the world is waking up. I feel like a bunch of people are starting to see their realities for what they truly are, and the illusions are being pulled away. Of course, that comes down to planetary alignments, and then your zodiac, and where certain things play out, and you have intuition and all kinds of things that kind of have been sleeping in our bodies for a long time. So we get to a point where it's like, you've done that before, but I've never noticed it. I didn't notice it was hurtful. So this is just to remind you, you're not alone. If You've had those protectors that have kind of pushed you to lose trust for yourself, which makes you lose trust for the world. It's okay to cut those ties regardless of if they say, we're family. No, family doesn't put you in a bind, and family doesn't leave you, especially in a time of need. Family doesn't leave you out and talk behind your back. That might be blood, but that's not family. So just remember that it's okay to learn to put that trust back in yourself. You were schmoozed. You don't have to be duped. If anything, look at it and go, thanks for the lesson. I'm just going to send you on your way and just be like, peace, love, and light. And there's nothing else that either one of us can gain from this rather than hurting each other, hashing out the past. There's no point. Let it go. Because it's as simple as saying, I felt the pain. It did consume me for a while. It brought me to my knees, but it helped me to do this little number and say, I got up. I feel better, bigger, badder, stronger. Like I said, thanks for the lesson. Because if people didn't stab us in the backs and we never saw their true colors, would we really ever learn a lesson? Just a little bit to think about. Like I said, it's months of going, I would have never guessed. Who would have thunk? But you know what? It helps. Use it. Start figuring out what's going on around you. It's hard, and you're going to possibly not like what you dig up, but it's better to know the truth than to live a lie. So, it's hot. I'm going to leave it on that note. Toodles.